Hey you guys, so I am here on a layover and I realized I have been flying as a corporate flight attendant for 6 months now. It's crazy how fast that went by. So I thought I would do a video, a 6-month check-in video, just to let you guys know my thoughts on everything and how it compares to the 5 years that I spent in the commercial world. So I guess the first thing I could talk about is whether or not I like the job. Yes, I love the job. It is so much different from the commercial world, but I feel so lucky to be here. Every trip is like seriously a new adventure. And I know when you're flying commercially, it's always a new day because your passengers are different. Even if you've been to the same layover city, your crew might be different and you might have a different experience, but this is just like totally different. I feel like I get to vacation more than I just get to layover, which I know probably sounds silly, but the quality of life is just so much better. I've talked about how meals are covered for us on the road, and I think that's something that's really helped me to enjoy these layovers. I'm still a big advocate on bringing your own food because it's expensive, and I've probably gained like 10 pounds since I've started this, but I'm also lucky in the sense that now my meals are covered when I'm on the road, so I get to try exciting cuisine from exciting places. So do I like it? Yes, I love it. I also really like the fact that the passenger load is a lot lower for many different reasons, but also because I feel like I can have more of a conversation with my passengers and bond with them. It's not just like a quick service of throwing food out to them and then like sitting on my jump seat in the back, or by the time I'm done serving 230 people, the flight's over and I don't even remember a single passenger's face by the time the flight is done. So I do like getting to know my passengers, or even just having like conversation with my passengers that's a little more in depth than what I was used to at the airlines. I do have to say sometimes I feel more like a waitress than I do a flight attendant, and that's because on the corporate side, service is 100. Like, it's all about service. You polish the crystal, you set out the nice china. It's just supposed to be the best experience for the passengers. And not to say on the airlines it's not supposed to be the best experience. We never roll out the red carpet for our passengers on the airlines, so they don't always get that same service quality level or same experience that our passengers on the corporate jet get. So yes, I do feel like more of a waitress than a flight attendant. I still do my safety briefs, I still check safety equipment, we still have procedures that we need to follow, but it is heavily focused on service rather than like all the behind the scenes safety stuff that goes on in the commercial world. And I've never waitressed before. I don't know if this is how a waitress feels. I feel like a luxury waitress, like a 5-star dining kind of waitress in a super fancy place. But yeah, that's a difference that I've noticed for sure. Another thing to touch base on are the layovers. When I was flying commercial, I loved going on layovers at first. Then I started doing red-eye turns, so I would fly through the night so I would not have a hotel room, or I would try to do short layovers. I didn't want to be away from home. I wasn't enjoying the layovers. It just wasn't that much fun for me. Now I'm married to the plane, so when we have passengers who want to go somewhere, the crew stays with them the whole time that they are somewhere. So my layovers are much longer, but again, the food thing is covered for. I don't know if it was like expenses before why I didn't really like it, and I didn't like being away from home, and I still don't necessarily like being away from home. I miss my cats, I miss Johnny, I miss my family, just the comfort of my own bed, but I am enjoying layovers a lot more now, and it probably has to do with the financial freedom that I have. So I'm very lucky. Every corporate flight attendant is very lucky. I hope if there are other corporate students watching this, you realize how lucky we are. But yeah, so the layovers is something that I've had to adjust to because I was not laying over like on 3 or 4 day trips for a long time. I was over it. I was bidding short layovers and longer hours, or I was bidding turns or overnight flights, so I would just get to be home. But now I'm trying to become more adventurous, and I think it's helped. I feel like I'm talking about food a ton in this, but it just has to do with like what life is. And being an Italian girl, I just want to eat all the food. I guess I want to talk about all the food also. So one gripe that I have is I did Whole30 when I was a commercial flight attendant. I found it to be extremely easy. Like I said, I wasn't laying over a ton, so I had access to the food at home, or if I was flying, I would make my meals ahead, bring them with me, eat them on the plane, eat them in the hotel. My meals were just always covered. I did Whole30. It was very easy to stick to. That's not how it is now with my meals on the road. I have zero willpower. Like, if we are somewhere, I want to try everything, every single dish, every creamy, processed, sugary, buttery, everything. I want it all. So that's a gripe that I do have. I still manage to eat like pretty healthy, but I haven't been able to get back to the Whole30 regimen that I've been wanting to do. Willpower. Something else that I've also really enjoyed about this job is we're able to express ourselves creatively. On the commercial side, we had our strict uniform policy. When we had to get there, we had to check in like on the dot. You could not be seconds late. And I'm never late for this job, but the check-in process is just different. But what I'm trying to say is I feel like I have more freedom flying on the corporate side. I can choose what I want to serve the passengers. I can choose how their menus look. I choose what I would like to wear on the plane. And I kind of I feel like I set the tone for the entire flight, which is a great feeling, not being tied down to like, oh my gosh, do I have a hair out of place, or is my uniform okay? Or am I gonna get in trouble for doing this, that, or the other thing? I don't feel like I'm always being looked at and I'm gonna get fired, like for breathing in the wrong cadence. And so that being said, I feel like I'm using my brain more, which is a terrible thing to say, but I was kind of going through like a robotic process when I was in the commercial world. But now I can think and I can express myself and I can be creative. And it's not just like, okay, well, here's exactly what we do at the airline. We show up and we check in and we do our safety checks and we read the demo and we serve food, and everything goes in an order like this, and you don't even have to think if you've done it for a long time. Like, it just comes naturally. And now it's just like, what is today going to be like? Like, how do my passengers want service? What do they want? How am I going to wow them? Like, what can I do to make this extra special? So there's more like thinking that's involved. I don't feel like such a robot. So I definitely enjoy that. I feel like I spent a lot of time at college studying, trying to get good grades, and I graduated with a good GPA. And then I came into flight attending and I stopped applying myself. So I don't feel like that anymore. My degree is in marketing, and I feel like I definitely get to use that in trying to like sell myself to do corporate flights or just sell whatever kind of presentation that I'm presenting to the passengers on the plane. So I also feel like I get to use my degree, which I'm very happy about because college is expensive, but I did it and I'm happy about that too. I've also started to experience something that I've been referring to as job guilt. I lost a few friends from the commercial side when I told them that I was going corporate. I had like 2 girls who I'd fly with all the time, and when I told them that I was looking to make the transition, they were like not supportive. They told me I was gonna hate it, and I was like, yeah, whatever, like they're just being jelly bellies. And then I left, and then they totally stopped talking to me, like completely. And yeah, perhaps they're still being jelly bellies and like being bitter. Obviously, they weren't good friends because they weren't supportive of everything. But then that's led me into like other ways of kind of feeling job guilt. Like when I do talk to my friends on the commercial side, sometimes I'm like, don't say too much, like don't talk about how great it is. And it took me a while to realize, like, if they're my true friends, they'll be very happy and they'll be supportive. Like they'll understand I'm not trying to be braggy or like show offish. And another way I experience job guilt, this has happened so many times and I actually feel like a giant jerk, but the other day, Johnny was asking me what my schedule looked like, and I was like, I have 2 back-to-back trips. Like, I am flying every day this week. And he goes, oh, welcome to the real world, Jacqueline. Like, yeah, people work 5 days a week. What am I complaining about? But it's just like the freedom that's been awarded to me. I'm not used to being gone every single day. And then it happened again. I was doing, I think, like 8 days in a row of flying or something. And one of my friends was like, hey, what does your schedule look like? I'm like, oh my God, you would not even believe it. I'm flying from Sunday the whole week until Tuesday the next week. Like, isn't that awful? And they're like, not really. You work like 8 days a month. Get it together. Be an adult. So like looking back on those conversations and kind of reflecting, like I have a little bit of job guilt there. Maybe I have a distorted sense of reality, but my reality is I don't have to fly that much and I'm able to pay my bills and I'm lucky. So yeah, job guilt is something that's happened to me since I've started in the corporate world, but the job guilt is worth it. Sorry, all you 40-hour-a-weekers. So I think that about sums it up for my 6-month check-in. Do you guys like videos like this? Are there any other questions that you want answered? Should I follow up with you again in 6 more months when I've been doing this for a year? Please let me know everything that you feel like sharing, all your questions, comments, thoughts, or concerns. Post them down below. I will try to get back to you guys as soon as I can, probably on a layover when I'm not filming a vlog with this funky wallpaper situation going on. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like my channel. Please subscribe to my channel. Stop by, say hi anytime you want. Thank you again. Bye.